So the 1/16 of a teaspoon, and that is going to be of the 15, 12, 26. So I will take this. See if the camera will pick it up. It almost looks like sand. But I will take 1/16 of a teaspoon of this out of my bag. Let's see if I can get that to show. So there you go, 1/16. And I just plop it into the tub that I'm going to be soaking with my plants in. And then I do 1/8 of a teaspoon of the 1500, which is a cal nitrate. And this sometimes this kind of gets chunks in it, but if you just break those up, you can see other parts of it is nice and loose. So I just get my 1/8 of a teaspoon of that, and I'll show you that as well. There we go. There, yeah, 1/8 of a teaspoon of that, and I put that in. And then my other ingredients, and so that's just sitting, that's not going to work. That's just in the bottom of my tub that I'm going to be using. And I always use this. This is actually what I use in my fish aquariums and my shrimp aquariums to help get rid of chlorine and other chemicals that are in the tap water that we drink. That can be very harmful to the fish, the snails, the shrimp, and even my aquarium plants. So I always condition the water, treat the water with this ingredient here. Cannot think of the name of it. Boy, it's not good. But I've showed this on other videos. And so I just use this little dropper. It helps to have a little dropper for me. I use a little dropper, get some of it out of here. And I just do like 7 drops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if I end up with 8, it's not a big thing. Oh, it's Stress Coat. It's API Stress Coat. My sincere apologies. I just remembered the name. And I buy it at the plant store because I use it for my aquariums. But if any of you go to the pet stores, Petco, PetSmart, they probably have it at Walmart. They might even have it at some grocery stores. These days, some of the grocery stores sell more than just groceries anymore. But that is API Stress Coat that helps condition and treat the water. And so this is my Cali Magic that I use. And again, I like to have it in a little dropper container. And for this, I take just 1 dropper of it and I put the entire thing in. Just squirt it into the container. And it's just for convenience for me. It helps to have it in there. Same thing with my seaweed extract. I will shake this up quite a bit because this does tend to settle. And I don't want all of it settled at the bottom. I want the nutrients that it brings to be throughout the liquid in the little container. So I shake it up pretty good. And again, I just use my little eyedrop, and I just put 1 full eyedrop into the tub that I'm going to be using to soak my plants in. So I will give you a look at what that looks like. So I've got my Cali Magic, I've got my seaweed extract, I've got my API Stress Coat, and I have my 1500 fertilizer additive in there, and I have the 15, 12, 26 fertilizer added in there. And the remaining ingredient that I will put in there is simply an old distilled water bottle that I have filled up. And I filled it up just with water from my tap. And I will pour that into this tub. And I like to use kind of lukewarm water. I don't like cold water because cold water can be almost too cold. Many of the plants that we grow indoors are from the tropical area, right? Tropical plants, so they don't like cold water necessarily. But if you get it too hot, you can cause some damage to your plant. So you don't want to get it overly hot. So now I've got my mixture here in my little tub. And I will give that a nice stir just to kind of mix it all together. Give it a nice stir. And that just incorporates it together, essentially. Some of that has to, of course, the powder form that I put in, that has to dissolve into the liquid. And I want the Cali Magic and the Seaweed Extract to be fully stirred in. So the plants have access to all the nutrients. So now my water is ready. You can see here's the water line. And I will go ahead and I will grab one of the plants that I'm going to water is my Thanksgiving cactus. I recently shared a video of this particular one. She is looking just amazingly gorgeous. I will set her down in here. So there she is in her full glory. She's quite beautiful right now. Let me move this just a little bit, my table. I will come back over. And so I have her in the water now. So she's sitting here in the water. There is a hole in the bottom of her container. And so she will draw that water up and have that moisture in the soil that she's growing in. So I will leave her in here up to like 1 hour to 2 hours. Kind of depends. I will fill the top of the soil. If I feel that it's moist enough, I will pull her out. I'm going to go ahead and cut off, remove some of her expended blooms. There's one way down here. See if I can get that off. There we go. I got it. So I'm going to remove some of her expended blooms like this while she's sitting here in this tub. I will spin her around. Hopefully she is in focus enough that you can see her glorious blooms. And over on this side, which is the side closest to the wall that I can't easily reach when she's in her growing space. So these need to be removed. And I just hold on to the little leaf stem, grab towards the base of the bloom, the expended bloom, and I give a tiny little spin, and she comes right off. I take these off because I don't want the plant to expend energy any longer into producing seeds. Oh, that one came off. See if I can get that off of that. There we go. And also, it seems like I read once, if you leave blooms on a plant, that it will produce a gas. Now, I'm not a botanist, so I don't know. I can't remember where I read that. But, and that gas is telling the other flowers, hey, it's time, we're done. I just play it safe. I remove them when they are expended. That takes energy away from growing seeds. I don't want seed production. Here's one that's just about gone. I'll go ahead and I'll take it off. Hold the little leaf stem. Grab this as close to the base as I can and just twist. So I remove them when they are starting to look like they're a bit expended and finished. So those are looking so pretty. I hope that's coming through for you. This one right here is pretty much expended. I will spin it and off it comes. So you can see this. And if we compare that, I'll lift you a little bit and move you. So you see this glorious one here still looks beautiful. And this one that I removed is starting to look like that. So, yeah, there you are, very pretty blooms. And this one is quite a healthy plant. I'm very happy with it. So, let me spin that so you can kind of see those two right there. Now I'll lift this one just a little bit. They are really quite pretty. They look like birds in flight. I know I've said it, but I always think of that when I see them in full bloom. They're very gorgeous. There's one back here that I need to remove. It's kind of deep down in. Let me get that a spin and get that off. There we go. So yeah, so that's how I fertilize some of my plants. I will do the same thing with my pothos and my philodendrons. And the one thing I will do different with my Phalaenopsis orchids is I will go ahead and I will do the same fertilizer solution. I'll use the 15-12-26 and the 15-00, as well as the Cali Magic and the Seaweed Extract and my API stress coat. And I will refill up this jug of old distilled water jug with water. And I will just put all those ingredients right into the jug. And then I will just shake up the jug. And after I shake up the jug, I will then water my Phalaenopsis orchids and any of my plants. Like I have some of my Hoyas that are growing in a self-watering container. So they all take water. And you can see the water level due to the type of container I have them growing in. So all of those I'll water as well today. I will, however, instead of putting them in a tub like this to soak up the water, I'll put them in, I'll just leave the water in the old distilled water jug, and I will water in that method for those. See if I can get those to come into focus for you. So pretty. Yeah. So I just wanted to share that again. I have shared it before. Now next week when I do this, I will probably use my it's a K-Lite fertilizer. I'll probably use that and the Cali Mag and the Seaweed Extract and the API stress coat. And then the week after that, I will probably go back to just plain water. I try to rotate what I'm fertilizing with because the different fertilizer solutions have different micronutrients in them for the plants. And so I do try to rotate that so that they're getting the different micronutrients to help make sure I have healthy and beautiful plants. So I just wanted to share that with you real quick, how I do the fertilizer in the tubs when I'm letting some of the plants soak. Again, I do the same thing in the milk jugs. It's not milk jug, it's distilled water jugs. And I will continue to do that for the rest of my plants. I try to do it on the weekends if I can. Sometimes if there's a holiday and I happen to be lucky enough to be off work, I will water if my plants need it. I'll water at that time. During the week, I do work full time, so I try not to do a whole lot with the plants during the actual work week, just because there's not that much time. Also, the best time to fertilize and water your plants, I feel, is in the morning. And in the mornings, Monday through Friday, I'm way too busy getting ready, getting the dogs outside, getting my lunch ready to take to work. I just don't have time to be watering any of my plants. So if you water and fertilize in a different method, please share. I'd love to read how you are caring for your plants. And if you have an opportunity, come back and visit again. I do create playlists on my different plants, and you can watch with me as these plants change and grow and hopefully continue to get bigger and healthier. There can be some that may end up passing away. I mean, that's just part of the process when you grow plants. You hope that they all do amazing and that they grow year after year, but sometimes they don't always make it. And I'm not a botanist, I'm not a horticulturalist, so I can't explain why some thrive and some don't. But kind of like humans, some humans thrive while others have a genetic disposition, perhaps, to an illness or something like that. So that's kind of what I think, probably. Sometimes they do great, and other times something will happen and I'll lose a plant. Anyway, thanks for visiting. I hope this was informative, and I hope you all take care. Visit again soon.